Yeah. One more time, brother, when you start. I should have been with my name. My break is my name. Glory, that's my soul. That's right. My heart is right. That's right. This is my right bottom. I'm here for the crowd. The I.S.U.P.K was fixed the condition of certain Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The I.S.U.P.K will fix Black, Hispanic, and Native English communities. Shalom. Examine. Now, all right, next week we're going to go. When I talk about marriage in America, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, why it fails, why the marriage rate, when you do it the way Esau say do it, always fails. Where it comes from, the cause and the problems and all that, man. You understand? And how to have a successful marriage in the truth, man. You understand me? How to have a good one according to the law. With that being said, man, Mariah, give me Zephaniah 2:1, brother.
Come. Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Gather yourselves together.
Say it again, brother.
Gather yourselves together.
What is the Lord saying? It's time now to come together. A lot of people want to resist us coming together. But the Lord is putting cards on the table and forcing us to come together as one. You understand me? He said, gather yourselves together. Go ahead.
Yea, gather together. O nation not desired.
Who is the nation not desired? That's you, black man. So-called Hispanic, Native Indian. You are the ones who are not desired in this earth, man. You understand me? You are the ones that have any type of success. You got to emulate and be like the so-called white man and do and what he say do, man. You understand me? You are those ones, man. You are the nation not desired. They imitate off of everything we do. Get paid off of everything we do in event, but don't want us up in a circle, even still after they copy us. You the nation not desired, man. The white man run around here with fringes on his damn jacket, like the Israelites do, like the Bible says supposed to be done, but still hate so-called Native Indians. Still got them on reservations, man. You the nation not desired. You understand me? The so-called Hispanics living in poverty and a barrios like everybody in the ghetto. You the nation not desired. Read. Any more of that? All right, give me Ephesians, the 4th chapter, brother. Give me Ephesians 4, verses 4 through 5, all right? All right?
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4. There is one body.
Say it again.
There is one body.
Y'all better understand that, man. This ain't the goddamn Christian church. We can't turn around here talking about something where I ain't got to believe what they believe or do what they say do. The Lord don't work that way, man. This ain't no damn democracy, and it's not the Christian church with all those different denominations and different belief systems, man. One body, one place the Lord gave his truth. Only one. Now, if you can't deal with how we dealing here, be man or be woman enough to say, you know what? I just couldn't deal with it. Don't start your own garbage. You lying to the people because you couldn't do what the Lord say do. You couldn't have this spirit of warfare. One body. Go ahead.
And one spirit.
And one what?
And one spirit. Even as ye are called, and one hope of your calling.
Say it again.
Even as ye are called, and one hope of your calling.
You see that, right? I see what the Most High said, right? One spirit, one body, to which you are called to. There's so many scriptures to break down all the evil these other cats out here doing, these Christian Israelites. There's many scriptures to break it down and show them they're doing wrong. And all of them, every last one of them say this. Well, it was problems back during that time, brother. See, you went there. Stop being a bitch.
That's right.
If there was a problem, you're supposed to go to what the Bible says on how to deal with that problem. The problem was, you was the problem. You weren't man enough to stand for the truth. You ain't want to get a checking because you know the shit you was doing was wrong. And that's it on that. Go ahead, keep on reading, brother.
Come. Verse 5. One Lord.
One Lord, man. His name is Yahweh in the Hebrew, who had a son, Yahweh, who he passed the kingdom to the crown to, man. Yahweh, go ahead.
One faith.
One faith, man. One way and one doctrine. You understand? Go ahead.
Come. One baptism.
One what?
One baptism.
They don't understand that one, Mariah.
Right.
They don't understand only one way to get clean. You understand? Only one way to get clean, man. All this filth out here on the internet, cats talking trash. When I know a lot of cats out here talking that trash that did evil and still doing evil, we get the phone call. Y'all want to follow them cats, though, huh? I ain't trying to hear that. That's why I vouch for any man in the I.S.U.P.K. I know what he's going through. I know what's going on with him. You ain't in the I.S.U.P.K., I can't vouch for you. And I won't vouch for you. One faith. One doctrine, man. When the Lord came out with his truth and had the brothers bring it out in 1969 in the I.S.U.P.K., it wasn't meant to spin off and cats doing what they want to do, no. That's why scriptures speak against it. You understand me? It speaks against about to be the doctrine. It speaks against it, man. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 6. One power.
One what?
One power.
One Lord, man. Can't go ahead and talk about something. I am that I am. Why you got to be kidding me? Right. Are you serious? I mean, are you serious? They gonna sit up and say, but then they got, I am that I am. He, whatever they are. You understand me? The breakdown in the ancient Hebrew said his name is Yahweh. You understand me? One power, one Lord, man. Go ahead.
And Father of all.
And Father of all. He our Father, man. You understand? Go ahead.
Who is above all.
Who is above all, man. Go ahead.
And through all.
And through all. All right, you can stop right there, brother. Now, check it out, y'all. Here we go. I got an article from Greg Popovich, the basketball coach, right? And I'm going to read something first. I'm going to read the article, then we go to the Bible and break this down, right? First, I'm going to go into the book called The Black Image in the White Mind, all right? I'm going to this book first. The Black Image in the White Mind, right? Now, I'm going to page 19. All right? Now, this book here is like a compilation of things that was studied from 1817 to 1914, which had very much relevance today. All right? You wonder why the color line is the way it is. You wonder why things are the way they are. You understand? Here we go. The Black Image in the White Mind, page 19. I'm going down the middle of the paragraph. It says this. The color line, hold on 1 second. The color line, on the other hand, was so deeply implanted in the national mentality that there was no reason to expect its disappearance, meaning that racism that America had, so-called white man, why was it expected to go away? It ain't going nowhere. And it's so proven today, man. It's proven today on how they treat us and what's going on. No matter who speak out against it, it's still the same. That's why integration was the worst thing that happened to us, man. We should have stayed segregated, stayed with having our own. We would have been much better off. We would have been much better off. Now, it says this. American society, the argument implied, was a corporate entity in which the black group had never been and never could be incorporated. You understand what they're saying, man? They let you know that this ain't for you. This land ain't for you. All the wealth and success is not for you, man. At all. I'm not saying you as a people, man. As a nation. Yeah, we got a few brothers and sisters up there making some money. That's a few, man. Compared to the some, right? Only a few. And the ghetto is still destroyed. Still death and murder. Still need the damn murder rate in land. Death rate with damn diseases and everything. Now, I'm going to page 23. It says this, the middle paragraph. It says this. On the basis of what he had seen and heard of white American attitudes toward the free Negro, and this is toward the Negroes who were free, the ones who supposed to got out of slavery, that's how they thought about you. Tocqueville described what seemed likely to remain the situation so long as whites and blacks attempted to inhabit the same territory. He stated, the two races, he wrote, are fastened to each other without intermingling, and they are alike unable to separate entirely or combine. Meaning, he let you know that we joined together, we fashioned, but we ain't supposed to be joined.
Right.
At all. You understand me? And let me tell you something. That's why they hate the fact of these brothers marrying these white girls. They don't like that, man. It's gonna come out more. You wait till I bring that article next week on marriages and why they fail, man. I'm gonna bring up all these things, man, to bring some clarity to the situation. You understand? Now, with that being said, I'm gonna read the article from Popovich. Everybody loves him as a coach. He's able to coach his fans up real good, XYZ, right? Here's what Popovich said. All right? In the article. The article is this. Greg Popovich. If you were born white, you automatically have a monstrous advantage. Why he say that? Everybody knows if you're born white in the land of America, you got an advantage, man. Right. You can be a white crackhead. You understand me? You can be a white crackhead. You go ahead on and clean yourself up, shave yourself, and get you a high-paying job. A brother can't do that. Right. This is the reason why. It says this. Popovich then discussed systematic racism and white privilege. He said, because it's always there and it's systematic, in the sense that when you talk about opportunity, it's not about, well, if you lace up your shoes and you work hard, then you can have the American dream. That's a bunch of hogwash. Commander General YAHANNA pointed out a couple of years ago, man, in D.C. And he brought it out, and then a reporter came and said, you know what? That's the best thing I heard all day long. And he told General YAHANNA, you right. He said, you right, because the matter, whenever we get to a plateau, they raise the bar higher for us. Why? It's systematic. They don't want us to be like them. They don't want us to part of their society. Always make it harder for us to achieve anything in this land. And the problem is you keep trying to achieve like them. Stop trying to achieve like them and do what the Lord say do, man, and come together as a nation of people, man. Do that. Now, if you were born white, you automatically have a monstrous advantage. Educationally, economically, culturally, in this society and all the systematic roadblocks that exist. And that's the truth, man. All these things are geared toward these white kids. And for any so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian to get ahead, you got to be like them. Assimilate into their own time. Now, even with that, at one point in time, we had black colleges. Now, where the black colleges at? They right now going bankrupt, y'all. No money, no nothing. Destroyed. whether it's in a judicial sense, a neighborhood sense with laws, zoning, education. Let me tell you something, man. Judicial sense. What they talking about? Brothers going to jail. Brothers getting locked up. You understand? The old brothers in prison. I love that damn Bill Clinton because he smoked weed and paid the sax. You know what I mean? Getting blowjobs in the damn White House. I love him for that, huh? When he started that 3-strike law, they got millions of brothers locked up. Right. You understand me? He did that, man. The judicial system. You see now how they treat a white prisoner and treat a black prisoner. They can't deal a root till 9 people. They took a Burger King. As he murdered 9 brothers and sisters. It says this, a neighborhood simple law. Let me tell you something. Everybody knows that our neighborhoods are off the chain. We have no structural order. And the reason we don't have that, because we don't have the Most High in it, man. While we got religion. You got Islam, you got Christianity. That's how you know that garbage is wrong. It's not right. They don't bring no order to the land. They bring more chaos, more murder, more death. I know more murderers than were Christians and Muslims than I can count on my hands. But when I come into the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander General YAHANNA, I know of no murderers.
That's right.
I meet brothers who now change their life and want to save brothers' lives and take their lives. Right. You understand me? Now, so what he's saying in this sense is right. Because you got a Christian church and a Muslim mosque, and we still don't have no laws or no wars in the damn neighborhood. It says zoning and education. We still begging for votes in 2016. You hear me? 2017. Still begging for damn votes from the so-called white man. That's ridiculous, man. He says this, we have huge problems in that regard that are very complicated, but take leadership time and real concern to try to solve. You know what I'm saying? It's a tough one because people really don't want to face it. Meaning, let me say something to you. Esau don't care about what happened with us, man. That's the problem. And neither do your leaders. Your leaders don't care neither, man. They can give 2 cents about what happened to us in the ghetto. But it's why we are living the way we live. That being said, now, I'm going to go over about Esau being over top of us, you understand? And then about him being an enemy coming from the Lord and how we should come together what the Lord says, right? What Greg Popovich said was the truth. Now, brother, give me Job. Give me Job 30. Matter of fact, no. Give me 2 Ezra 6 to 57. Give me 2 Ezra 50, verse 7.
2 Ezra 50, verse 7.
Come on, that's great, brother.
Come on, sir. Ezra chapter 6.
Okay, we got a question here. Somebody made a comment. The sister leader, she stated they have Israelites that murder. You're right, we do have Israelites that murder each other. We do have that. But it's the point of having this class. The point of to stop that. Go back and read this. Exodus, the 2nd chapter, where Moses saw 2 Israelites fighting. That comes from oppression, man. Us killing each other in the ghetto come from oppression from the ones oppressing us. You understand me? That's where it came from. You understand? That same spirit that was back during the time in Egypt is right now in a land called America. That's why the Bible says our dead bodies will lay spiritually Egypt and Sodom. Why I say spiritually? Because the same spirit that was on Egypt back during that time is right here in America. We still slaves in America in our mind. Maybe not physically with shackles, but if you come to the truth, you still got that slave mindset. Right. Why I say Sodom? Because all the homosexuality and lewd sexual acts going on in a land called America, man. Why I say our bodies are dead? We ain't dead physically, we are dead spiritually. You understand? And that's it on that. Let's get it, brother. Go to the scripture I asked you to call for.
2 Ezra, chapter 6, verse 57.
Come on.
And now, O Lord, behold, these heathens.
These what?
These heathens.
These other nations, man. Primarily the so-called white man. You understand me? The so-called white man. Go ahead.
God, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing.
At one point in time, it was nothing, man. You understand me? They was nothing. You hear me? It wasn't nothing. Yeah, that's you. I think you got a call coming in on the joint. You know what I mean? It was nothing, man. Go ahead.
God, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us.
Now they lords over us, man. Yes, and now they the ones governing us. You understand? Now give me Job 30:1.
God. Job chapter 30, verse 1. But now, they that are younger than I.
Say it again.
But now, they that are younger than I.
Because the so-called white man is the younger race than us, man. You understand me? He is a younger race than us. Them that are younger than I. I'm on Isupk. So-called white man. Go ahead.
God. Have me in derision.
Have us in a bad way. You understand? They got us in a bad way, man. You understand? Go ahead.
God, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock.
At one point in time, man, we ain't even went around dogs of our flock. So you know why, right? You leave your damn dog around white girls, see what happens. You know how many videotapes they got out here with white girls having sex with animals? How white boys having sex with animals? Having sex with sheep, all kind of evil stuff going on. It's like, I see why our forefathers hunt them around our flock. You understand me? Wow. That's why. You let them around and see what happens. They was doing it back then as well. Like they're doing it right now. You think I'm lying? Google what I just said. Google sex with animals, and you see a bunch of Edomites having sex with animals, fighting for rights that marry their damn cat, rat, dog, sheep, horse, goat, all that. You understand? Fighting for that right. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me.
You understand me? And now, how is the strength of their hands going to profit you? How is the strength of the hands of so-called white men going to profit you? How? You tell me, has it profited us so far? No, it hasn't. And it's not. You understand me? It's not. We're going to prove that a little bit later on. Now, give me Ecclesiastes 10:7.
God. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 7. I have seen my servants upon horses.
Say again.
I have seen servants upon horses.
Meaning, what does that mean? Meaning, back during that time, you understand, if you were somebody of royalty or lineage, you rode the horse and the servant walks. The Lord is saying here, now he sees servants upon horses. The roles have reversed, man. You understand? Who's a servant upon a horse? The so-called white man. Why do I say that? In the book of Genesis, the 23rd chapter, it tells you about Jacob and Esau. And it states that the elders shall serve the younger. Meaning Esau came out first. His job was to serve his younger brother, who was Jacob. So what is that telling you? That the so-called white man's job is to serve us. You understand me? Things are backwards right now on earth. And it's backwards because we ain't taking our rightful place in the land. Being a Hebrew Israelite, you understand, part of the Israel tribe is much more than just name and fringes you see on top of these. Everybody hollers about they wearing fringes. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, something. It's much more than that, man. Right. It means you gonna have to now get in this Bible and live what it say live. Which means to live this Bible, you gotta reject yourself. What you want, how you want to do things. But do the Most High they do all the time. Not some of the time, not when it make you feel good, but even when it make you feel bad, do what God say do all the time. I hear all the time, follow all the commandments and statutes, brother, follow them. I want to see you doing them, man. Whole earth should know what you're doing. You ain't got to talk about it. But be about what the Lord said be about, man. It's so much more to be a Hebrew Israelite. If mean, you're going to do what Christ said do in the Bible. Contrary to popular belief. Contrary. Christ was born like us. Little sidebar. He was born like us to show us how to live, how the Lord said live. Right. To give another shot back to the Father. Everybody hold this. Go to the book of Hebrews, brother. And we're going to show you about Christ. Everybody holler about what we can't do with Christ did. He was the Father, Son. He was an angel. Man, shut up with y'all lies, y'all simplicity. Go to Hebrews 2, 16 to the end of 18, brother.
Oh God.
Hebrews 2, 16 to the end of 18. Let's go there, man. And let's go about Christ. And what YAHANNA said, man, and how he was supposed to come. Matter of fact, before you go there, Romans 1 and 3. Gosh. Now these are men that roll with Christ. And what they say about Christ? What they say? These two scriptures right here kills the whole idea of an immaculate conception. You understand? Or the holy conception, all that garbage and filth and lies. And not the truth, brother. You got it, my right? Hit me with it, boy.
Romans chapter 1, verse 3.
Come on.
Concerning his son, Jesus.
YAHANNA in the Hebrew. Go ahead.
Christ, our Lord, which was made of the seed of David.
Say it again.
Which was made of the seed of David.
When you make something, you create something. David had seed. What's that seed? Is sperm. Why is that important? This is telling you he came from the sperm or lineage of King David. Go ahead.
According to the flesh.
According to the what?
To the flesh.
According to the what?
To the flesh.
It said according to the flesh, meaning what? It's like it's being crystal clear. How in the heck can you say now that this is not talking about immaculate conception being wrong? It said according to the flesh. What's a man's flesh, y'all? Every woman who has a baby knows what a man's flesh is. Every woman who has had sexual intercourse with a man knows what a man's flesh is. That's his rod and his gonads where the sperm dwells. They down there swimming. Right. He was made according to the flesh. That's very important. To let you know he ain't come on spooky way. Now give me Hebrews 2, 16 to 18.
Hebrews chapter 2, verse 16. For verily, he took not on him the nature of angels.
The nature of what?
The nature of angels.
He didn't take on him no angelic nature, man. Why is that important? Because this tells you that when Christ came, he ain't come like an angel. Because they teach you in a Roman Catholic church. They teach you in Islam that Christ was born of an angel touching Mary's stomach, which means he had to come from an angelic nature. That's all bull crap and a lie. Read it again from the top, brother.
Hebrews chapter 2, verse 16. For verily, he took not on him the nature of angels.
He took on him the nature of angels, man. He didn't take on the nature of angels. He barely took on him not the nature of angels. I mean, he ain't come of an angel touching Mary's stomach like they teach in the Roman Catholic Church with Muslim mosques. Read.
But he took on him the seed of Abraham.
The what, brother?
The seed of Abraham.
Once again, the seed is a man's sperm that comes from his flesh. Meaning Christ came from the lineage of Abraham. How is that possible? Because his father Joseph came from the lineage of Abraham. You understand? The King David. All the way down to Christ. Read.
Verse 17. Wherefore, in all things, it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren.
To be what, brother?
To be made like unto his brethren.
He was made the same way we were made, man. His mother and father had sex. You understand me? It wasn't the right thing to do at that time, yeah. And what they did it before it was supposed to happen, yeah. But he had sex nonetheless, man. You understand me?
Right.
He went up in there and he had sex with his woman. Go ahead.
That he might be a merciful and faithful high priest.
Go ahead.
And things pertaining to the power.
Why merciful and faithful, man? Because the same thing you experience, he experienced, man. Only difference is that Christ is just being obedient, which we can be obedient. That's why the Bible said, be perfect, very perfect. You know what that means? Just simply doing what God says do. That's all. That's all. Whenever somebody tell me, well, everybody ain't perfect, brother, I can't be perfect, anything like that, then I'll watch them closely. And that's a cat who's going to make an excuse to sin and do some evil, wicked things I don't want to be part of. Right. I watch them very closely when they see that. Any more on that?
To make reconciliation for the sins of the people.
To make reconciliation for the sins of the people, man. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 18. For in that he himself have suffered being tempted.
Say it again.
For that he himself have suffered being tempted.
Now, the temptation that you go through, that you endure and you suffer, Christ went through the same exact thing.
Right.
You have to understand his coming, here's how he dealt with it. That blueprint, that's in the Bible. How you conquer those things is by following his steps. By doing what he say do. When you go into Luke the 4th chapter, Christ is tempted, right? And it tells you how he fought the temptation each and every time. That's with the knowledge of the Lord, man. Scriptures, man. But by living the scriptures. You understand me?
Right.
He's showing us how to live this thing, man, and get it right. Because our so-called leaders are not doing it, man. The same as back during Christ's time, the same right now. Them so-called leaders, them Pharisees and Sadducees, you see all the evil they doing, man. You understand? All the evil they doing. Christ came to show us a different way, man. And that's why it's so heavy, because he was born like us, because just like how we came, he came. Like how he doing it, we can do the same exact thing. You understand me? Keep on reading, bro. Say 18. Let me know when you're there.
Oh, God. He is able to suffer, to cure. So like he is able to secure them that are tempted.
Mm-hmm. Why? Because he's doing the same thing you're going through, man. You understand me? Same exact thing you're going through, he's going through. He's showing you how to deal with it. You understand? Showing you how to deal with it. Now, with that being said, let's go back to the topic we was at. Go back to Ecclesiastes 10:7.
Oh God. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses.
Say it again.
I have seen servants upon horses.
Good.
And princes walking as servants.
Meaning Esau ruling over Israel. That's what's going on. You understand me? That's what's going on. You understand? Now, with that being said, everybody go to the book of Baruch. Everybody go to the book of Baruch and the Apocrypha. On Baruch 4, verse 25. We're going to read from 25 on down, all right?
Come.
4 and 25. Hey, if anybody got any questions, you can type in your questions. Or if you don't want to type them in, send me an email at I.S.U.P.K.org and I'll reply. The last half an hour, somebody sent me some questions. I'm going to go over those questions and answer them online live. So either you can type it in or email me at Hazagun at I.S.U.P.K.org and I answer questions live in the last half of the show, all right? Okay. You got it, brother? Tell everybody we had both show.
The book of Baruch and the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you.
See that? Suffer meaning this, man. We gonna suffer this because we in hell, we did this. But even in this suffering, we gonna come together as a nation, man. Come back together as a nation and build these tribes all over again. Go ahead.
Oh God, from the power to like and from the power. For thine enemy have persecuted thee. But shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck.
You will see the destruction of so-called white men, which is happening right now. You understand? All that power, that influence, all that's going away, man. The Lord got it going on. And when our big brother, our king, the Isupk, crack that sky, he going to tread upon his neck.
Okay.
You understand me? The Bible said this in the book of Job, the 20th chapter, that there's going to come a time when Esau not going to exist no more. Like dung is done away in the earth, it's going to happen to Esau, man. You understand me? Keep on reading.
Verse 26. My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemy.
Go ahead.
Verse 27. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the power, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you.
Go ahead.
Verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from the power, so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
Let me tell you something, man. This scripture right here stays in my chest. It stays in my brain. It stays in my heart, meaning my mind. Because it was on me. I was doing all that evil stuff I used to do back in the day. But now I come to the truth. I seek the Lord 10 times more, man.
Right.
Everybody should be having this scripture tattooed on their, not physically tattooed, but imprinted inside of you, man.
Oh, God.
Because you better go back and check yourself. See, here in the I.S.U.P.K, you're going to learn, but we're going to make you check yourself. And that's the real big deal, man. Most people, brothers and sisters, don't want to check themselves. Most people find an excuse on what they want to do that's evil and wrong. And I.S.U.P.K, we ain't having that, yo. You got to check yourself, man. And checking yourself gonna make you seek the Most High 10 times more. There is not one law in America that Esau got that can keep you from being a Hebrew Israelite. Not one. The only reason why you don't do it is because your lust that you got inside of you to do evil. That's all. Ain't one law. They ain't got one law in the books that can stop you from being a Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
Not one. But with that being said, since it was in our mind, meaning our hearts, on what we wanted to do, to go away from the Lord, now it'll be the truth. Seek him 10 times more. I watch y'all on Facebook. I'm looking. I hear the stuff on Facebook. We got to live it. Can't say some heavy things on Facebook, XYZ, but you better be living that. The Lord will expose you. You better you shut your damn mouth and don't say nothing, really, to be honest. It's going to come out. You should be living this truth. Seeking the Lord 10 times more. And don't get in a pity-patty party or woe is me type deal neither, man. You sit back and do what God say do, man. Seek him 10 times more in everything you do. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 29. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation.
The Lord will bring us out of this, man, but I'm going to tell you who he bring out of it. He's going to bring that 1/3 out. Those brothers and sisters, man, who about these people by changing their life and doing the Lord as they do, man. That's why the book of Ephesians 5:20 to 22 is so important. That's why it is. Either 4 or 5, verses 20 to 22. You got to change that man inside of you. Philippians, the 3rd chapter, you got to get rid of your past. A lot of y'all hold on to that past like it means something. That past don't mean shit. And that past will hold you from your future with the Lord. You understand me? You better let go of that past and get rid of that past. Because it means that's what's holding you back. You move forward with Christ and His truth, man. That's what you do. That's how we got to live, man. You understand me? That's how we save for the destruction that's coming to this land, man. And let me tell you something. When the Most High deals with us, like a father deals with a child, and you can chastise, take it. Accept it. Deal with it. You understand me? Deal with it. Lord ain't gonna keep it in forever. He will see what you made about, man. He will call you to the carpet. Everybody think that when things are going so good, the Lord loves you. But what about when things ain't going good? What you gonna do then? Oh, the Lord don't love you then? No, He's a good father. He chastises his child. Right. That makes it stronger than truth, man. The whole reason Esau is above us, the whole reason why Greg Popovich made that statement he made, which I read earlier, is because of us not doing what the Lord said do. Right. Because we chose to not follow the Lord and what He said follow. We ain't seeking Him 10 times more. Now, by knowing this, let's start seeking Him 10 times more. Right. You understand me? Doing what the Lord say do. Fighting your flesh. I say that, nobody want to hear that, huh? I say fighting your flesh. Brothers and sisters are like, oh, I don't know about that. That flesh feels good to you. You gotta learn how to fight that flesh, man. Learn how to deny yourself everything you want, everything you think you need. Keep on reading, brother.
Verse 30. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for He that gave thee that name will comfort thee.
Who gave us the name of Israel, y'all? The Lord did, man. Who chose us as His children? The Lord did. Through our forefather Abraham. The Most High ain't forget about this promise He made to Abraham, which is why YAHANNA had to come and die for our sins. Knowing that, knowing you got a free slate, we get the truth, man. Don't blow. Stay focused, man. And let me say this to you. If you make a mistake, if you do something wrong, then pick yourself back up, get back up, repent, and don't make that same mistake again. Right. You understand me? We got grace. The grace is time here to get right, not to continue to sin. You make a mistake, get up and get it right. Keep on reading, brother.
Come. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall.
The so-called white men rejoice at the fall of Israel, man. Other nations came in, and they showed them the way to get into Israel. You understand? That's why David said, he said the song about Edom. You understand me? That's why he said about them. And the other nations, so-called Africans, it's all of them, man. Rejoicing at our fall, getting paid off us, they eating off us. They eating good too. You live in our neighborhoods, and what black businesses did you see? Right. But you see the other nations having every damn thing. It's an abomination that as black men in America, as black women, we don't have no black restaurants. Most young sisters coming today cannot damn cook. I'm sorry. Most young sisters out here, they can't even make a damn cup of Kool-Aid, a pitcher of Kool-Aid, right? Because they ain't being taught. But when they are being taught how to twerk on a goddamn video, right. Ass every damn way, titties every damn way, fuck me. I gotta say it like this. On YouTube out here fighting, cutting people and all that, shooting people, all that glorified. Imagine going out the house and cook a meal, they can't do it. They make a sandwich, they can't do it, man. We gotta change that very fabric and dynamic, man. And you brothers out there, you charge our sisters and want more from them. Don't accept them when they butt their titties hanging out. I don't accept that. Don't nobody accept that. But accept them being modest sisters, humble sisters, man, who want to take care of a household. You do that, we'll change the nation big time, man. And guess why they twerking, y'all? Guess why they twerking? With their butts out, their titties out. Guess why they out there fighting in the streets? Because it please men. They doing all of it to please men. So now, knowing that these things out here please the men, or want to please them, let's show them how to do it the right way, man. And that's our job in the I.S.U.P.K, you brothers, man. To change the fabric, the dynamic of our nation, our people. Come on, read on.
Verse 32. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve.
Woo! Say it again.
Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy son.
Keep on reading.
Book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 33. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation.
Listen, let me tell you something, man. She was happy about what happened with us. That's so-called white man. Getting over on us the whole nine. What do you think they meant when they said they wanted to take America back? In their eyes, Barack Obama was a black man. We know he wasn't no damn black man. He ain't off his right. But in their eyes, he was. And what they meant was they wanted to take back the nation from the so-called black man. You understand me? But it's why you're going to see more things happen on a racial low level in America than what it's ever been. They want to go back to those days. Back to the 50s, the 40s, the 60s, the 20s, where they ruled everything, man. We were subservient to them. You understand me? I say, the Lord say that we should be segregated. We should not be integrating with them. It's time now to build our own and have our own. You understand me? We miserable because we're trying to join them and look for them for the answer, man. Keep on reading.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 34. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. Verse 35.
Her pride shall be turned into what?
Into mourning.
Into what, brother?
Into mourning.
What's a good precept for this, man? The pride of the so-called white man. The Lord said pride can bring them down low in the book of Obadiah. You understand me? Bring them down low. Go ahead.
Verse 35. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the power.
Why I say look to the east, y'all? I'm waiting for an answer. Why does it say look to the east? Why does it say look to the east? I want somebody to type in an answer on why I say look to the east. And understand this, Islam and Muhammad did not come until 600 years after the death of Christ. Meaning this, the Hebrew Israelites, culture, records, were already established way before Muhammad was born. So why does it look to the east? Ouch, you know what? Oh, my man. Yatsazak. There you go. Brother Alvaro. There you go. Because that's where our homeland is at, man. That's why. That's where we from, y'all. Jerusalem, man. Look to the east, your homeland. When you pray facing the east. Here's the precept. Hold on. Forgive me. I forget sometimes when I write all my stuff down. I should write them down too. You know what I'm saying? Hold this, Mariah. Hold this, Mariah. Go to 2 Chronicles 6, 37, 39. Everybody go to 2 Chronicles, the 6th chapter, verses 37 through 39.
2 Chronicles, chapter 6, verse 37. Yes, if they be faint themselves and the land whither they are carried captive.
Meaning they not living in the land of Jerusalem, man. We in captivity here in the land called North America. And I'm going to show you after this, a brother in captivity. But he still prayed to the land of his forefathers. Prayed towards Jerusalem. Read.
And turn and pray unto thee and the land of their captivity.
Go ahead.
Saying, we have sinned, we have done amiss, and have dealt wickedly.
Go ahead.
If they return to thee,
meaning they are admitting the evil they have done, man. And that's so righteous, man. It's a right thing to say, no, Lord, I was wrong with what I did, man. I was evil as hell. The thing I did was not right, Lord. Please forgive me, Lord. And then don't do it again, man. That's right. The Most High looking at that, man. That's why Solomon asked the Lord to honor this. Go ahead.
God. Verse 38. If they turn to thee with all their heart and with all their soul, and the land of their captivity, whither they have carried them captives, and pray toward the land which thou gavest unto their fathers.
What land they given to us, man? That's Israel, man. Homeland Jerusalem, facing toward the east, man. You understand me? Let me hit you with something about Islam. The first place of prayer for Islam was not Mecca, but Jerusalem. Right. That's the first place of prayer or worship for the Muslims was Jerusalem and not Mecca. Muhammad changed it because the Israelites would not get down with Islam. So he had them pray to Mecca. But the first place of prayer was Jerusalem, man. Who live in Jerusalem? Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's our homeland. Right. And it's saying, if we're in captivity, pray towards that land. Read.
God. And toward the city which thou hast chosen, and toward the house which I have built for thy name. Verse 39. Then hear thou from the heavens, even from the dwelling place, their prayer and their supplications, and maintain their cause, and forgive thy people.
And what, brother?
And forgive thy people
for all the evil that we have done. Go ahead.
And forgive thy people which have sinned against thee.
You understand me, man? You sit back and pray for your people, man. Say a prayer for the Israelites, man. Right. That Trump trying to deport. Say a prayer for all the brothers and sisters, man, that suffered out here wrongfully, man. Say a prayer for your nation. Right. Say a prayer for them. Now, some brothers and sisters don't want to change. And they're going to suffer the wrath of the Lord. You understand me? But I feel for them. I sigh and cry for all my brothers and sisters. I feel for them. Because they want to do what they want to do. Now, drop that, Mariah. Give me Ezekiel 9:4.
Oh, God.
Give me Ezekiel 9:4.
Oh, God.
Let's go ahead.
Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 4.
Come on.
And the Most High said unto him,
Go ahead.
Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry.
Of the men that sigh and cry, man. What's the mark in the forehead is truth? Who are concerned about their people. You understand me? Who are concerned about them, man. Who love their people. Go ahead.
God. For all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
All the evil going on right here, man. All evil going on. Now, drop that real fast. Give me Daniel 6, verses 10 to 11, real quick, y'all. And then we'll go back to Baruch.
Oh, God. Chapter 10, verse 6. Come, come. Daniel, chapter 10, verse 6. His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning.
No, Daniel 6 and 10, I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I apologize. Daniel 6 and 10.
Daniel chapter 6, verse 10. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem.
Towards where, brother?
Toward Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
He kneeled upon his knees.
He did what, brother?
He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before the power. And as he did aforetime.
You see that, right? Is that the end of verse 11? Keep on reading. Take the end of 11.
Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his power.
You understand that? But what was Daniel facing when he prayed? He was facing his homeland, Jerusalem, east. You understand me? Had the windows open, praying to the Lord, man. But we all should be doing praying to the east, man. Right. You understand that? Praying to the Lord for strength to fight this battle we fight. To stay strong with the truth, man. You know, prayer is right when you're right with the Lord. You understand me? Prayer do help when you do what the Lord say do. But don't think you're going to pray to the Lord and you ain't doing what he say do, man. You understand me? Now, that being said, everybody go back to the book of Baruch, the 4th chapter. Everybody go back. Everybody go back to the book of Baruch. Psalm 36 again, Barak.
The book of Baruch and the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 36. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east.
Toward what?
Toward the east.
Which is why I beat this one of why toward the east, man. That's our home, man. Go ahead.
And behold, the joy that cometh unto thee from the power. Verse 37. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the power.
You understand that? Rejoice in the glory of the power. What does that mean? What am I talking about, man? Give me the book of Ezekiel 36.
Okay.
So the verse 16 to the end of 24. And this is going to explain why it's saying gathered everybody from the east and to the west. You understand? Coming back home. And gathered together by the word of the Lord. That's what it says, man. By this truth.
Ezekiel chapter 36. Chapter 36, verse 24.
36 out of 16.
16. So
I'm on 16 to the end of 24.
Okay, come. Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 16. Moreover, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in the land, and dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way, and by their doing. Their ways was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman.
That's talking about when a woman's on her flower, a cycle. Maybe she wasn't separate during that time. Because she's unclean. That's how the Most High looked at the whole nation of Israel. For the evil that they was doing, man. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 18. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols, wherewith they had polluted it. Verse 19. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the country.
Scattered means dispersed. Dispersed means scattered amongst the other nations. You understand? Go ahead.
According to their way and according to their doings, I judged them. Verse 20. And when they entered into the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said to them, These are the people of the Most High, and are going forth out of his land.
Good.
But I had pity for mine holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen, whither they went.
Why did he have pity? Because of the covenant the Most High made with our forefather Abraham, right? But it's why YAHANNA had to come. The Most High is a man that is alive, right? And the Lord chose us. He chose us as a people, man. Go ahead.
Verse 22. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Most High Power, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but mine holy name's sake.
Meaning because of the promise he made with our forefather, man. That's why. Go ahead. Which is why everybody tried to ride Abraham's coattails, man. Got the nasty Africans, the nasty Muslim Arabs, everybody tried, and the so-called white man, everybody tried to ride the coattails of Abraham, man. When that promise was given to only us, not nobody else. That's why learn your history in the Bible, man, to crush these lies out here. Read.
Which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. Verse 23. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am the Most High, saith the Most High Power, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
What?
Verse 24. For I will take you from among the heathen, and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land.
That's talking about YAHANNA return the second time. You understand me? When he returned that second time, that's why it says in the book of Baruch, which says gathered together from the east to the west, to the word of the Lord. I mean, we don't come back home with this knowledge of the truth. You understand me?
Right.
Get everybody back together, get to do knowledge, not through money, not through programs, not just none of that kind of garbage, man, but come together and knowledge the truth. But it's gonna be brotherhood and sisterhood, which is what Christ said. They gonna know you, my disciples, by how you treat one another. By how you treat one another. I'm gonna say it again. They gonna know you, my disciples, by how you treat one another. That's brotherhood and that's sisterhood. It crawls my skin when I hear about a brother or sister being abused by somebody else. They don't know you, my people, by how we treat one another, man. Right. With that being said, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back on the second half, last half of the show. I got some questions I need to answer, and we're going to end it with that. All right, y'all? Be right back live on the I.S.U.P.K.
Let's have fun with it. Y'all can't fuck with us. I know that they exist, man. Let me tell you something. Talking about, I'm calling the police. If you have a warrant, I'm turning you in. Jesus Christ had a warrant, nigga. Fuck wrong with you? Judas ass niggas turn him in for 30 shekels. That's that $2,000 reward. All y'all pussy and y'all hate your people. I should have mad at me. If I didn't do it, I know you'd be mad at me. But if they want to put it where they had to be, I gotta learn to be like a calorie. They need to hang that shit up like a calorie. Everything that should be equal fallacy. Actually, they never left us behind. All of that personal originality, questioning the sexuality, carnal renewal, kill the sanctuary, beautiful heat. That's the reality. But it's school on both the salary. I was not back to the car like an allergy. Put on the news, the other brutality. I'll go to battery or the fatality. Put on a bag, they murderers. Happily, out there, represent the morality. Take it to women, I mean, strategy, human mentality, modern day therapy. Orders my life to the insanity, capable weapons, left for attack. You like the hand that infects blasphemy. These niggas crazy. Like, good personality, arrested a nigga. They teach on the Sabbath day, white supremacy. All of your spirituality behind us the ghetto. You want to straight with the law nationality. I know that this guy hurt like a practice. No, I cannot keep it on like a man. He's not restricted from this power is on it. It's one thing from carrying. No one to hear it like that. They go to the egg, go out of the balcony. They stick to the minute mentality. NYPD who be playing in equal more like a master be home with the truth and I'll die for my family. All these cats is bitches. They snitches, man. Let me tell you something talking about. I'm calling the police. If you have a warrant, I'm turning you in. Jesus Christ had a warrant, nigga. Do this damn thing and turn him in for 30 shekels. That's that $2,000 reward. All y'all pussy and y'all hate your people. Bitch.
Come on, I can't mess it up, Rock. Come on, baby. You got me bouncing in the chair, Rock. Come on.
Okay, we sitting here with Officer Kazazar, member of the I.S.U.P.K, coming out of 1 West 146th Street. Right. Sitting in the studio. A couple of questions I'm going to throw at you. I'm calling the God. I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. You're going to jail. If you are one thing, I'm sending you in. That's $2,000. That's the first $2,000. That's good. $1,200. I can help my neighbor with that money. If you're one thing of going to jail, I will tell you. I said likely, if anybody else feel less, being one thing, your ass going to jail.
And then turn around and say that they're going to snitch on their people. If you had a warrant, like I'm put out on the track, because Frank had a warrant. This is the same people that would have turned their brother into 30 seconds. That's $2,000 reward.
I am turning you in. Respect. I'm calling the cops. Respect. Respect. Respect.
At the end of the day, what needs to come out is that this is what it boils down to. The track came out, here you go, you got it now. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all enjoy it, but this is what really needs to come down. Is that the I.S.U.P.K is the body of Christ.
That's right.
You understand that? And this is the place where you're not going to get oppressed. This is the place where we defend the Father. And wherever your else seems so, that the Lord is with us. Right. We can't mess with us in his face. We can't mess with us physically. We can't mess with us spiritually. And we're about to find out that we can't mess with us literally either. You understand that? Just like the days of old, when David had to unite the kingdom, what he did? He went to civil war with his people. And you know how they knew who the Lord was with? They would drop on their side, and David would lose maybe 5, 10 people, thousands are dying on their side. Right. You understand that? And no matter what it is to defend the truth, we'll go to war, we'll be victorious.
Respect! Respect! Respect!
Y'all can't fuck with us on no level. They snitches, man. Let me tell you something talking about. I'm calling the police. If you have a warrant, I'm turning you in. Jesus Christ had a warrant, nigga. Fuck wrong with you? Shoot his damn thing and turn him in for 30 shekels. That's that $2,000 reward. All y'all pussy and y'all hate your people.
Yeah, y'all. We back live with the I.S.U.P.K, man. Let the I.S.U.P.K. We are back live. All right, listen, y'all. We got a couple of announcements. We got some lectures coming up. To get more info, go to our website, www.isupk.com. Give you all the info for all the upcoming lectures, man, as well as the Passover, y'all. We also got Purim coming up. Purim, the Feast of Purim, March 11th to the 12th, man. Make sure y'all in the building celebrating High Holy Day. And let me tell y'all something, man. If y'all got kids, from teenagers to babies, you better teach them these feasts, these high holy days, man. They gotta learn who they are and why it's important. Because if you don't teach them, guess who's gonna teach them? These goddamn streets. That TV. All the thing that destroy a nation, they gonna learn. The so-called white man took our history and our heritage and conquered the earth with us, man. What do you think we can do once we reclaim it back? And to take it back means simply this: by doing what the Lord say do and come together as a nation, man. That's all. We ain't gotta get physical. Ain't no violence going on here. Unless we gotta defend ourselves. Right. And that's it. That being said, let's go, y'all. All right, big shout out to Officer Gabar out of Houston. I'm sorry, Gabba War. Two by Tyler Rum. I want you to take that test, man. What's up, man? I get that two by your name a little bit too much. Yeah, I'm watching that. I watch everything. It's Tazaka, Alvaro, you know what I mean? Sister Naima, Sister Joy Fresh. Joy Fresh, what name? You gotta get a Hebrew name, sis. Brother Muhammad, Yapa, Yawana, Laba, who else? Kingerada, Sister Lita, Sister Shamaha, Brother Muhammad again, you know what I mean? Big up to all y'all. Tapaya Allah Rakah, all right? Tazaka Wa. That being said, let's go into the topic now. Let's go into these questions, all right? All right, these questions came from my brother out of Pittsburgh, right? This first question is, what is the truth concerning the Messiah being crucified on the cross and his resurrection? All right? I want to get a little bit more detail, Brother Pablo, about the resurrection. I'm going to about the cross, all right? Everybody go to Isaiah 53rd chapter real quick. Everybody go to Isaiah 53. Hey, Shalom, my man, my man from OKC. I.S.U.P.K. What's up, Big Six? What's going on, Warrior? Listen, man, you know, I'll never forget about you, right? The first day we met. The classes you took and how you came to Philly for that Passover, right? Listen, what you did, I was so amazing, man. It stays in my chest, man. You understand? It stays in my chest. And I can't wait. The Lord's good enough right now. That powerful school will be in Oklahoma through your work, through your hard diligence, man. Your sacrifice for the truth. Stay strong, warrior. You need it, you call me. Now, and Lord's will, I get to see you again on Passover, brother. Now, you got Isaiah 53, warrior? Start at verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 53, verse 1.
Come on.
Who hath believed our report? And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant.
As a tender plant, young, delicate, go ahead.
And as a root out of a dry ground. He hath not formed, nor he hath no form, nor comeliness. And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him.
Man, he ain't one of them handsome cats that you think gonna be the cat, gonna be the one that leads you and got everything you looking for, man. He ain't coming that way, man. YAHANNA wasn't gonna come this way. Go ahead.
Verse 3. He is despised and rejected of men.
Go ahead.
A man of sorrows.
And he was despised and rejected, man. Teaching his truth. Everywhere he went, man, they were trying to reject Christ. Didn't want to listen to what he had to say. But stuck in their own evil, man. Let me tell y'all something. It was so to the point that Christ did not have a house or where to lay his head. He was laying his head with other people, man. He didn't have his own crib. That's right. Go ahead.
And acquainted with grief. And when he hid, as it were, our faces, and when we hid, as it were, our faces from him, he was despised, and we esteemed him not.
Meaning, we didn't want to hear what he was saying. So we turned our face from Christ. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Surely he hath borne our griefs.
Our griefs, man. You understand me? Because his point of him coming was to come and die for the nation of Israel. To give us a second shot back to the Father. Go ahead.
And carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of the power, and afflicted. Verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgression.
For our what?
For our transgression. He was bruised for our peace, like for our iniquity. And the chastisement of our peace was upon him. And with his stripes we are healed.
Meaning his death. You understand me? His death to Christ gave us a shot back to the Father. Now we're going to stop right there. You can take it all the way down to the end of verse 9, but I'm going to stop for time's sake. Everybody go to the book of Hebrews, the 9th chapter. Everybody go to Hebrews 9. Start at verse 11. We're going to take it from 11, Mariah, to the end of 15.
Okay.
All right, big up to Sister Jennifer Oaks and Yeshua Bama.
Hebrews chapter 9, verse 11.
Okay.
But Christ, being come in high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands. That is to say, not of this building.
Not of this building. I mean, that's self-explanatory. You understand? Go ahead.
Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us.
Having obtained what?
Eternal redemption for us.
Eternal redemption for who? The 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, man. That's who the us is, man. You understand? Them 12 tribes. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's who it's talking about. His blood that he shed upon that cross. And let me tell you something about the cross. The cross was a way how Romans killed people during their time. The cross ain't nothing special. Like y'all worshiping the cross like it means something, don't mean a damn thing. All it did, but that's how Romans killed people when you was against them.
Right.
You was an enemy, they hung you behind on the cross. That's all it is. Go ahead.
For if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of an heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctified to the purifying of the flesh.
You know what, brother?
To the purifying of the flesh.
Who had that? I'm grab that. Hold on, we're gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna keep talking about this here. What's the point of the bulls and the goats? And who had that as a people? The Israelites. Who had the Lord's sacrifice? The sacrifice of bull and goats for your sins and your evil? The Israelites. These 12 tribes. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. That's who it was for. You understand me? It was for them, it wasn't for everybody else, man. This Israel. That's the law that the Most High gave us in the book of Numbers, in the book of Leviticus. You understand me? Exodus. That's what we had from the Most High. We had to sacrifice the bulls, the calves, the goats, all that, man. That's what the Lord gave us, man. You understand? That's what. Now, with that being said, the Bible says if the blood of these bulls purify the flesh. You understand? It's not on this one. I'm seeing all your apps on this. Slide, brother. I didn't think slide warrior. You know what I mean? Just get it back up, put it back up, and keep on going, all right? Come. Now, if these things were the things that got us clean, you good here. You straight, boy. You straight. I'm gonna make sure I sit my butt over here and not move on the table. I apologize, brother. I got you. You sit right here and I move. I don't worry, I ain't gonna move. All right.
Okay.
All right, read 13 again.
Chapter 13, Hebrews chapter 9, verse 13.
Come on.
For if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of an heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctifieth to the purifying of the flesh. Verse 14. How much more shall the blood of Yahushua, of Mashiach, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot unto the power, purge your conscience from the dead works to serve the living power.
You know what that's saying, y'all? But it says he offered himself without spot to the Most High, meaning when we offer the sacrifice to the Lord, it had to be a perfect sacrifice. That sacrifice, that goat, that lamb, whatever we offered, couldn't have not one blemish. It had to be perfect in every way. Perfect in every way. That's why Christ was perfect in every way. You understand me? Didn't commit no sin. To come and die for our sins. Now, it's saying, purge your conscience, meaning clean yourself from your dead works and the things that get you killed out here. And keep you from the Most High. And now, learn how to serve the Most High the correct way, man. In His truth. And do what the Lord say do. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And for this cause, He is the mediator of the New Testament.
He is the mediator of the New Testament. Go ahead.
That by means of death,
meaning Him dying on that cross, Him shedding His blood for us, man. You understand? Dying on the cross is how He died. He could have died in the hospital bed. It'd been the same thing. But them Christians be silly as hell. I guess if He'd have died in the hospital bed, right? Everybody walk over the hospital bed around their damn neck.
Right.
And here's another thing around about that damn cross. Brothers and sisters wear that cross, and ain't nothing changing. They wear that cross and doing all kind of evil wickedness and nothing changed their life. Now you don't see all that's wrong? Keep on reading, brother.
The middle of verse 15. For the redemption of the transgression.
For the what?
For the redemption of the transgression.
Go ahead.
That were under the first testament.
Stop. Who was under the first testament, y'all? I'm gonna wait for an answer. Who were the ones that were under the first testament? I'm gonna wait for an answer. Now, I gotta know this, man, about the blood of Christ. Christians say all the time, the blood of Jesus. The blood of Jesus. Who? They dance and fall out, the blood of Jesus. But right here, Hebrews 9:15, the Bible says that His blood was for them that were under the first testament. Who was under the first testament? I see YAHANNA and Big Bix. Israel. Who's Israel? The 12 tribes. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Those are the nation of Israel, man. That make up these 12 tribes. His blood was for them. It wasn't for nobody else.
Right?
Nobody. The Christian church is a damn lie. The Muslim mosque is a damn lie.
Right.
Keep on reading.
They which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
Now, what's the promise of eternal inheritance, y'all? Where do you find this promise of eternal inheritance in the Bible? I'm gonna wait. Isupk, I.S.U.P.K, be both correct. I.S.U.P.K, we take that test, man. Pass that test, brother. Let me say this to you. I want a little help on that test. Just write the test out. Keep on writing it out. Keep writing the test out, man. Write it out. Keep writing it out. Keep writing it out, all right? Now, where in the Bible is the promise of eternal inheritance? Where's that, y'all? See if y'all study. I'm going to let y'all know when you come on the radio show, I teach. I'm going to expect you to study because I'm going to ask questions. And based upon your answer, I'm going to know if you're studying or not. That means you got to get in them books, you got to study. I do it all the time. I want to know if you're studying, you're learning. So now, where in the Bible can you find the promise of eternal inheritance? Ain't nobody type nothing yet, huh? Well, you're going to know in my class, you got to study, yo. I'm going to bring it to you. I'm trying to tell you. I hear you, Adam. I hear you. I want the answer to my question. Where in the scriptures can you find the promise of eternal inheritance, man, for the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel? This is, I'm gonna help you out. This is history in the Bible. YAHANNA, you close. I will go to the one I'm asking for first, then I'm gonna come to Romans 9:35. But you close. Nope, not Daniel 7th chapter. Nope, not Daniel. I got you. Come on with it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna wait some more now. Come on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't see anybody else. Okay, but where the scripture at? Got to stop. I hear you. You on it, but where the scripture at? Nope, not Matthew 19:6. Nope. I'm gonna go back further. I'm gonna history. Come on. See, I'm gonna make y'all study. Because you gotta know these things, man. You understand that? You gotta know these things. Now Deuteronomy 28 says, nope, not even nope. Now it seems like for time's sake I might have to give it to you. I don't want to give it to you, but for time's sake I'm gonna have to give it to you. All right? For time's sake, right now, you know, I ain't asking you. You hold on to it. I did 18. La sister la body is nah. La body was nah. Not Isaiah 30. Nope. I see I get interactive. I like that. Sound like the teacher. I want everybody to participate. I want to interact. Come on. You gotta know these things, man. You gotta understand something. You close the time out and got the top. They use this and use your history and your heritage and take it from you. But by doing it, they can't take it from you. Nope. The Bible and I. Nope. All right, for time's sake, y'all. Everybody hold on horses. Everybody go to Genesis, the 17th chapter, verse 7. Everybody go there. Genesis 17, verse 7. You got it for me, Mariah?
I'm gone.
Go to Genesis 17, verse 7, brother.
Genesis chapter 17, verse 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee.
Between what?
Between me and thee.
This is the Most High talking to Abraham. Before the 17th chapter, his name was Abram. After this chapter, his name was Abraham. That's where we get a covenant, circumcision, and all that. Now this is what the Lord said. Read again from the top.
The book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 7. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee.
What's the seed after Abraham? Huh? When you go into the Bible, who does the Most High recognize? Isaac, Jacob, and his 12 sons. That's the seed the Most High recognizes. Read.
And thy seed after thee, in their generations.
And their what, brother?
And their generations.
With an S, that's plural, meaning families, line, lineage, all the way down from this time of Abraham to right now in the earth. Go ahead.
For an everlasting covenant.
For what?
An everlasting covenant.
When it says everlasting, is everlasting ever end? No. From then to right now. Go ahead.
To be a power unto thee, and to thy seed after thee.
You see that? That's the promise, man. That's the eternal inheritance. That's the promise. And every nation on the earth, the so-called white man, the Arabs, Chinese, Japanese, all these so-called nations are trying to take that from us, man. Now we learn it and don't give it up no more. You hear me? We take back our heritage. Now, with that being said, it's 12 o'clock. Mariah, I'm gonna just want that brother's scripture. All right, the brother had a question. His number 2 question was about Salamander and the 10 tribes that came over here after they left. after they left that captivity, all right? Everybody go to 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, verse 18. It's real fast. Second Kings. I'm gonna give y'all, we're gonna be like another 5 minutes over, and then we're gonna clip y'all. 2 Kings 17, verse 18. For time's sake, let's go to verse 23 real quick.
2 Kings chapter 17, verse 23. Until the power removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their land, out of their own land, to Assyria.
Now this is just go ahead.
Until this day.
This is the northern tribe, now the northern kingdom. You understand? Them 10.5 tribes. Where the tribe nation was split. You had the northern tribes and the tribe of Judah, which comprised of Benjamin, parts of Levi. Everybody else was the northern tribe. The Most High took the northern tribe and scattered all of them. You understand? Now go to the Apocrypha, 2 Edges 13, verse 40. The third question I'm going to answer next week. All right, Lord's will next week I'm going to answer that question. Once again, if anybody got any questions, you can type the question in or email me the questions. All right, go ahead.
This is the Apocrypha, the book of 2 Edges, chapter 13, verse 40.
Yep.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their land in the time of Osiah the king, whom Salamander, the king of Assyria, led away captive. He carried them over the waters, and some came into another land. And so they came into another land.
Now, there are people out there who try to say this is saying that they went over the mountains and the hills, leaving Assyria to someplace over there. But the Bible don't say that, man. You gotta be sticklers of this thing. It said it carried them in the waters, man. The Most High stayed in the waters. Hey, let me tell you something. You go into the map, you find Assyria. The pathway coming out of there is waters coming directly out of there to the ocean, coming right to the land called North America. It's a direct route, man. You can read.
Verse 41. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth and into a further country where never man dwelt.
With what?
Where never man dwelt.
Where else you go? Nobody never dwelt there before, man. Go ahead.
Verse 42. That they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Go ahead.
Verse 43. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river.
Go ahead. And you go on the map, find out where Euphrates is. You will see a direct route coming from Assyria through the Euphrates, through the ocean, over into the land called North America, man. Go ahead.
Verse 44. For the Most High shewed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Ashereth. Go ahead. Verse 46. Then dwelt they there until latter time.
Until the what?
Until the latter time.
Until the latter time, meaning the last days of time, right? But these nations, these 12 tribes will dwell at. You understand? So that's it on how the northern kingdom left from Assyria, coming to the land of America. That's how they got over here, all right? Now, little precursor. The white man knew it. But it's why he sent Christopher Columbus over here. He was on a mission. And he's looking for them 12 tribes. Because they had our records, man. They one of the same ones who was slavery in Egypt. to be a statement of the so-called white man. They came and found us, man. How? They had our records, all right? With that being said, listen, I'm going to get up out of here. Be over the time. Brother Pablo, I answer your number 3 question next week on the show, Lord allow, man. With that being said, we say shalom, Israel. April 9th, Passover, April 9th. Yeah, Mariah, you want to go with the King song, bro. That's my song. I want to hear that one. That's my song right there, brother. You understand me? They got to stay strong with the truth, man. Remember, this is about warfare. And that warfare is spiritual. That warfare is inside of you. Fighting the evil is inside of you. Let's fight that fight together, y'all. Iron. Gonna sharpen iron. And we're gonna build this nation up. Shalom, Israel.
You can't take it over in and out, Indiana, check out in the box, and it's all through. We're gonna be there flying from DC block. Pull up to the show. Fuck em, hit them with the boat. Shalom, Israel. Captain Oklahoma, Chicago. We in the Midwest, still out here in Detroit. Letting everybody know this quiet weekend is gonna continue. Just today, on July 19th, in Indianapolis, Indiana, we're going to be at the Black Expo. All the I.S.U.P.K. all over the country will be there. Convention YAHANNA is coming to Indianapolis to help conversate and discussion about the problems of black people and the problems of sauce. And the super fly full of fire in the Porsche. I don't need a molly to do also being right. I say what I always say. You know, you just get brothers in, not here, brother, that all while we all here. July 19th to the 22nd, be clear. I'll be out there. Captain on the choir, all of us should be out there. Alright, so y'all want to make sure y'all be there July 19th, July 19th to the 22nd, man. Come out there and join us. It's just a real black power. Just be there, be square.
Squeeze in the tune, couple extra clips that it seems from your movie. Step up in the club.
Louisville
Kentucky in the house. That's right. What do we call Kentucky Nana? The Kentucky Nana reel, but I like to call the Grippo reel. Right. Get in with the Black Expo. It's going to be happening July 19th through the 22nd. Be there in Indianapolis, Indiana. We get ready to rock everything hard. We get ready to take the globe. I.S.U.P.K in the house forever. Shalom.
Hit them with the fuck em. They don't want no pride. You know my motto is fuck em, that's all I gotta say. Scope on the rifle that'll stop you from a mile away. Warrior with the hands, that's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Pay back in every breath. Plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark, and I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought, just gotta watch who I'm feeding. Now they walking with them angels, so I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak, nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby back off, better bear with us or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all boxed out. Behind me say I'm up full, no room for emotion, so I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't U.P.K, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to something. Flow so deep, to drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah, bro, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. Don't rank me no head, and I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep it hollow. So when they ask I'm U.P.K, we tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing, gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart, and Alana, she's so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies, and they daddy far from usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about the shit I used to do in that 98 Navy and 10 leather seats. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter, the lies are sweet. Tried everything, I guess me and YAHANNA had to meet. Now I make the blind see, and I make the dead speak, and teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man, they better bring me bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time, this Glock match my handpiece, and I ain't trying to take them out, but I will defend this house. Or take a check, 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. She call me 47. Praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame. Ask why, tell them I'm loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I walk that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. The devils can't have me. Peace, I'm loyal to the king. Bring that hot flame. You can say loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I walk that straight lane to break the chain.